that Kezar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time.
Dang it.
Yes, I got it this time. And we are talking about under-the-radar 49ers that could make a big impact in 2021.
Huge impact. The biggest impact in the world. Well, maybe not in the world, but for this team in 2021, very well could be the case. And before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button right now. Let us know how excited you are about this down in the comment section down below. And also, put some predictions and some guesses in there. Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think we're going to say? And who do you think they are? But Ant, we're going to split this up. Offense and defense, right? We don't want to get too all over the place crazy with this.
Yeah.
Who do you got offensively for the 49ers as an impact player that's under the radar?
Well, when people have been talking about the offensive line, it's so easy to look at Trent Williams. He gets so much attention and well-deserved. And then Alex Mack comes in, and at first he got a lot of attention, and he's been overlooked a little bit, but I'm not going to go with him either. Then there's been a lot of focus on the right guard as well, and of course, because of Thanos, there's so much focus on the right tackle that he's definitely not under the radar, even though he's going to have a huge season this year. I'm going with the left guard, somebody that's underappreciated, Lakin Tomlinson. Because you know what Lakin Tomlinson does every single game? He suits it up and he plays. And he plays pretty good. People want this guy to play out of this world, but I don't think he has to play out of this world. I think he just needs to play good. He's going to have better chemistry with Trent Williams, and because of Alex Mack, he's going to be in better positions to be successful. The double teams, also being able to get to second level, everything's going to be better. So I think Lakin Tomlinson is going to spring onto the scene as far as a national level. Some 49er fans like me appreciate what he does already. I think you do too.
Yeah.
But now I think people are going to come to a better understanding of what he is and what he's capable of. And the 49ers have to make a big decision in the offseason whether to keep him or not, because he did the Niners a solid restructuring last year. And so now he has a voided year of his contract. So they're going to have to make some big decisions. I think they've insulated themselves in case he leaves. But Lakin Thomas is going to have a big year this year. A lot of it because of the people around him, but a lot of it because he's just a good player that makes sure he's out there every single day and gets his job done.
And he executes at a high level.
He does.
Everything that he does, whether it's pass pro, pass sets, picking up stunts, whether it's securing first level, getting to second, whether it's double team blocks, no matter what it is, this man does it at a very high clip. He executes very, very well. And I agree with you. I think he's primed for a big, huge 2021 season. And in all honesty, I think he wants to have one. I mean, it's important for him to have one because this is going to be his last opportunity to get a big payday.
It is. This is it. And you know what? He's able. I mean, I think a lot of times we look at guys and we're just like, well, he can't do it. But this guy completely can do it. He's a first-round talent. Somebody that before he got traded to the 49ers, yeah, he didn't pan out. But since he's been to the 49ers, he's been consistent.
Man, it's almost like being in Kyle Shanahan's offense just does wonders for players' careers.
And it fits him. He does fit Kyle Shanahan's offense. Kyle Shanahan and them do not like spending a lot of draft capital on guards, which they obviously did this year, which was out of character for them. But Lakin can still have a big season this year. We've seen Person have a good year in 2019.
Sure.
Lakin Tomlinson, I think, is going to ascend. He's going to be good. And the second level blocks are going to take it to a whole nother level. I'm curious how much better the pass blocking gets, because he does struggle at times in the pass blocking.
Especially when it's one-on-one, when he's singled up.
Yes.
He can struggle definitely there. Look, I agree with you on every facet there. But it's also why I can't go with that.
Ooh.
I don't want to do this.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to pick this guy.
Uh-oh.
But I have to pick this guy.
Uh-oh.
And the reason I have to pick this guy is because he needs it to happen. He needs to have an impact year for this 49ers team. Because if he wants to stay on this roster after the season and not be expendable, he's going to have to. He wants to get paid and make some good money. He's going to have a big impact year. Last year, he had an opportunity to put something out there and put something on film that made you go, man, Ross Dwelley, that's a talented player right there. He had 8 games. 8 games, folks, with George Kittle not on the field. No Jordan Reed to be out there either, to take snaps away from him.
For a lot of those, yeah.
It was his time to shine, and he did not shine. He had moments, but he didn't shine. The first time Kittle got his opportunity to shine, he shined. And I keep hearing people say, "Oh, Dwelly's great, but he's got Kittle in he's in Kittle's shadow. He'll never be able to get Kittle wasn't in his shadow last year. It wasn't there. And that's why he is. He's my under the radar 49er impact player. And the reason why he's under the radar is because he's done nothing. I know you got the Thanoses of the world out there saying, "Oh, Ross Dwelly, he's great. If Kittle goes down, you have nothing to worry about. We got this great tight end behind him." He hasn't shown that he's great. He has moments. He's a solid blocker fundamentally. He doesn't put people on their back like Kittle does. He doesn't set the edge the way Kittle does. It's a more finesse style block. He's not a big, burly guy. Now, granted, he did put on the weight. He got bigger, right? So, am I excited about the potential Ross Dwelly has as a blocker this year? Absolutely. Because I think he has a lot of the fundamental tools down, and now he's added some of the size and the strength.
Yeah,
that's great. That's good news. Can he be the receiving threat that Kittle is? No, I don't believe he can. I don't think he has that same type of athleticism. But can he become that little bridge, halfway bridge between what Jordan Reed was and what Kittle can be? Can he be somewhere in there where he's a better route runner, can create more separation, and be more than just a little possession 10 to 15 yards over the middle of the field type of guy? Possibly. And he's going to need to. He's going to need to turn himself into a red zone threat, because if you can have Kittle, Dwelly, Juszczyk, Jalen Hurd on the field at the same time with a guy like Debo, now you can't. If you have a guy like Ross Dwelly out there, people are going to ignore him, right? He's the least threatening of those players that are out there on the field.
100%.
So if he's getting the weakest matchup and he can obliterate and dominate those matchups in short down situations, red zone situations, and become a legitimate red zone threat for this 49ers team, not only does this team now become more dynamic and more diverse, because now you have another big blocking tight end out there on the field that makes your run game that much harder to stop. But when you go play action, you don't have to keep Dwelly in. You can do things where you move Kittle in motion, defense shifts to cover and account for Kittle, and now you're isolating Dwelly one-on-one out in space with a safety or potentially a linebacker that he can take advantage of. This is your time, Ross. This is it. This is your one and only opportunity this year in San Francisco to make yourself non-expendable. Because as of right now, you are. He has to come up and step up big this year. He has to become an impact player for this 49ers offense, both in the run game and the pass game. If he does, this team is going to be even harder to stop. And if he doesn't, we'll find somebody else next season.
Well, we might find someone during the season.
Also true.
Because I think that if he doesn't play well and he's not making big plays, then they will just go to different formations and different sets that keep him off the field and put other guys that are able to do the things that they need him to do on the field. Now that you have a Jalen Hurd, you have a big body that can do some of the things he does. You have Kyle Juszczyk. He can definitely line up next to George Kittle and do those things that you need him to do. So, yes, he can be expendable already. You said he started 8 games last year, and he had 25 catches and 3 for touchdowns. That's not blowing the roof off of anything. So even if he started 16 games, does that mean we're getting 50 catches and 6 touchdowns? I doubt it. That's not what you're going to get out of this guy. I think he's a solid player, but I think he does have a lot of work to do. He kind of reminds me of Brent Jones at the end of his career. Like, that's kind of his level, that he 10 to 12 yards down the field, he can catch the ball, and he's not going to go anywhere. He has pretty good hands, and he can catch the ball and secure first downs, which I'm very grateful for. Sometimes his blocking is great, and sometimes it's not. He's inconsistent. He needs to be more consistent.
I was going to say, ask Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. There are times that this guy needs to be more consistent. So what you said is right. And yes, he does need to step up, because I think there is a big push to put a different personnel grouping than to have him on the field. So there's going to be less opportunities for him to play. Maybe that's why they're less concerned about, what is happening at the tight end position. We shall see. But you're right. If he steps up, he could be a red zone, at least, person they could go after, a target. I don't think he's ever going to be a threat, but he could be a target that they could go to.
Best case scenario, he's a threat. Worst case scenario, they don't just disrespect the man like they do Kendrick Bourne on fly sweeps.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely lose him with all the things that are going on, with all the players that are out there. I think he'll get snaps and he'll play well, but I don't think he's going to ever blow the roof off of things.
That's fair.
And let's please hope that George Kittle stays healthy. I'm glad he's walking on balance beams. Please keep your ankles and feet healthy, my guy, because we need you in there playing, because we want Ross Dwelly to be a very nice 2.
Mm-hmm. Very nice 2, very comfortable sitting on the bench.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who do you work for? Defense now. Yeah. Defense is key, right? Defense is the identity of this team. It's what makes this team run. It's what makes this team tick. It's what makes this team go, Ant. And that's why my defensive under-the-radar impact player is Maurice Hurst. That's correct, folks. A new signing, Maurice Hurst. The reasons? Simple. Depth and rotation. The deeper this defensive line group is, and the further that Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans can go into their bag to pull players, right, deep into the rotation with this D-line, the fresher everyone is, the fresher everyone's legs are, and the more fresh we are late in the season. If a guy like Maurice Hurst can come in and mix things up, give Kinlaw a break at times and become a dominant run-stopping force, and use that athleticism that we saw in our Gold Rush breakdown video, which if you haven't checked that out, you should check that out right now because it's a great one. You see some of the athleticism that he has on things like fly sweeps, and his ability to get around blocks and get into the backfield in order to put pressure on the quarterback. By no means is this guy just a big body. He's not his only game. He's deceptively athletic, he's deceptively quick, and he's a nice change of pace guy that you can throw in on the interior. You can match up him and Zach Kerr. You can have them spell each other. There's a lot of different ways for the 49ers to go about addressing this. But Maurice Hurst, if he can be an impact player for the 49ers, he's flying under the radar, right? Nobody's paying attention. He's a name that you hear and you're like, oh, that's a guy who's played in the league, hasn't really done much. This team already has depth. They're already great. He comes on the field, teams might be sleeping on him, and if they're sleeping on him, he can take advantage of that real quick.
He's a legit 3-tech. And you're right about the athleticism. When you see him making plays, getting off the block, and making tackles on guys that are running outside zones and fly sweeps, yes, his pass, rush wasn't very good last year. He didn't produce, but no one on the Raiders produced. That's why it was a struggle. But this guy has a lot of ability and a lot of talent, and he is a change-up from some of the other guys. But what I like is that when you throw him in there with Kevin Givens and DJ Jones, you have a bunch of guys that can do similar things. But really, it's Kinlaw, Givens, and Hurst. That is a solid rotation. That is three guys that can come in there. This guy is better than like a Julian Taylor. So you've improved on the interior defensive line, which you ultimately needed to do. They went from being very good in 2019 to pretty good last year and getting by, even though their stats were actually really good, to this year being pretty unbelievable.
Stacked. And that was a great choice because Hurst can be a big-time player this year. I know all the Raider fans that I know have been saying, oh, I'm glad you took him. He sucks. We'll see what happens when we're about 5, 6, 7 games in the year, and you're like, I don't know why he didn't play for us like that. Why couldn't he do that for us? I don't understand.
It must be a mistake.
Yeah, it must be. No, he just must not care. Didn't want to be in Vegas. It's like, no, it's probably just your organization and
it's
your team
also
and
their
your scheme.
Their defensive scheme, 100%, is different than the 49ers. He's going to be able to attack the quarterback and stop the run on the way.
Man, it's crazy.
Way different.
It's almost like when you give some freedom to these guys who need freedom, they can just thrive. It's nuts.
It's true.
I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
Born free.
But Ant,
yeah,
I got Maurice Hurst. Who do you got?
I got Zach Kerr.
Oh, let's go! I love it.
So
D-line all day.
Yeah, you're talking about the 3-tech, and I'm talking about the big nose tackle. I think Kerr he's going to blow the roof off of things once he gets in there because he's going to come in fresh, and he's a legit guy that could start in this league, and he's coming in behind DJ Jones. But he's massive but moves like a smaller guy. Yes. He's going to get in there, he's going to make an impact, and I think where we're going to see the biggest impact is against the running game. 49ers' weakness in 2019 was stopping the run up the middle where teams were able to get vertical. That's going to stop right now because him and Kinlaw are going to plug that middle. That also ensures us in case DJ Jones goes down, we have him to play. I mean, this guy is no joke. I did not want to count on Darian Daniels, and now we don't have to. Count on this guy. This guy's big time. Also has some pretty sweet pass rush moves.
He does.
Could get better, but I think Chris Kasarik will ultimately get him better. But his hand placement and everything's pretty good. Working with Kasarik, being able to develop the skills that he's going to need is going to be nice. Get a little bit skinnier on breaking double teams. Doesn't always do that, but if he gets skinny and he's able to get up the field and cause penetration, which is his game, he's going to be hard to stop. And this defensive line is going to be very formidable and very fun to watch. It's only right. It's simpatico that we pick those two guys because there's going to be a lot of times that they're going to be next to each other playing and hurting people, and I'm for it.
He said simpatico. I love it. Look, the D-line is crucial for this defense to have success. The identity is built around it. The defense being able to get stops, get teams off the field. It starts with the pass rush. These two guys being able to slow the run game down and create pressure up the middle to slow down quarterbacks, especially these mobile guys. Take away those escape avenues and lanes, make them try and get around and outside on our speed edge rushers. Good luck, NFC West. Good luck, mobile quarterbacks in the league. Patrick Mahomes, we're coming for your behind. We got you this time, boy.
Yeah, and you brought it up. You're talking about these edge pass rushers. We always had that great, speed coming from the outside. Why do you think Armstead had so many sacks in 2019? It's because he was able to get penetration up the middle. Now you have big guys that can just completely collapse the pocket and push them into the quarterback.
You mean to tell me that he's an actual hybrid defensive end? He's not a traditional outside 4-3 defensive end who just sits out there on pass rush downs, that Armstead should go inside where he thrives?
Yes, because he's actually a 3-4-5 tech that's playing in a 4-3 system. That's why he can play the base 4-3 defensive end and interior on obvious pass downs.
I'm stunned. I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed.
And you know what's funny is actually Buckner is a 5 tech as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah, well, we used to run a 3-4 here in San Francisco when they were drafted. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it, right? Who would have thunk it at all, indeed. Let us know what you think about our under-the-radar impact 49ers players for 2021. Do you agree with us? Do you like the Maurice Hurst name? Do you like Zach Kirby and thrown out there? Did you enjoy Lakin Tomlinson? Do you disagree completely with Ross Dwelly? I don't blame you. It's more for Ross Dwelly's sake than my own, and for Thanos, just for him. He'll feel good about this when he watches it. Look, we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think down below. Did we miss anybody? Is there a guy that we should have talked about that we didn't? We want to hear about it. And while you're down there, typing away, letting us have it in the comment section, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell as well. That way you're notified every time we post this great content. My goodness gracious me. And while you're doing that, don't forget to share with the rest of the faithful. Let's grow this conversation. Let's get it even bigger.
Yes. Make sure you join the conversation. Make sure you leave a comment because that is so much fun. And I love the comments that we've been getting lately. A lot of smart 49er fans. The Cutback crew goes crazy with great content. They always have something good to say, not only in our live chats, but also in the comment section. So make sure you read, go through those, comment with each other, have a good conversation. It's fun to talk about 49ers football. That's why we're here. That's what it's about. And that's why we're so happy to have all of you with us, because we have the smart ones, and that's nice.
Hashtag the smart ones, folks. Hashtag the smart ones. Cutback crew, you're incredible. Become a member today. And until next time, 49ers fans, you stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.